Welcome back to Berks One-on-One. For today's episode, I got to speak with some of the artists and organizers of the GoggleWorks Print Fest, which took place on Sunday, June 29th.
Hi, I'm Jesse Footer, Marketing Director here at GoggleWorks, and you are at Print Fest right now. This is our larger-than-life print experience. We have a giant steamroll making giant block prints for everyone to stand around and watch. We have print activities, lino cuts, styrofoam prints, fruit prints, the list goes on and on. You can make your own t-shirt. It's just going to be a really great day. It's fun. So this was an idea that Natalie Fenner, our signature events manager, thought of. It's something a lot of other art centers do, but she really wanted to take the idea and synthesize it in a way where our audience would really connect with it, and I think she did an amazing job.
Hi, my name's Mike Miller, and I was one of the featured artists at Print Fest at GoggleWorks this past Sunday, and I am artist in residence at Total Experience Learning Institute, which is a division of Alberta University, and the studio that I run is funded through Albernia, but it's housed at GoggleWorks. So it's kind of a complicated situation, but it's really unique for me because I run a community art studio where I invite people from, different organizations, just individual volunteers, student groups, to come into the studio, or I work with different community organizations to organize collaborative projects. The nice thing about being located at GoggleWorks is you're surrounded by a creative community. So Natalie Fenner, who was the one who organized the Print Fest, had approached me to see if I would be interested in carving one of the large plates for the festival. And I've done some carving, but never to that scale before or with that material. So I was a little, cautiously agreed to the invitation. And so it ended up I was really busy the day of the festival, kind of sort of organizing the artists and kind of keeping the roller busy so that we could make, I think we probably made between 30 and 40 prints that day, which I think for the first time with an event of this type, I thought was pretty successful. I think one of the challenges for me was the scale of the plate was enormous, and I had been pretty busy with other projects in the months leading up to the festival. So I had just returned from a trip, and I knew the design I was going to do. I had sort of messed around with the material and felt comfortable with carving, but I hadn't actually physically started it. So it became the project that was on my front burner, which was really nice because then I could basically immerse myself in carving for probably 4 to 6 hours a day for about 3 weeks. And I really did not want to be procrastinating to the point where I was carving the night before the festival and really feeling that pressure. I don't work well under pressure, but not that tight of a deadline. So I felt really good about finishing it maybe 3 or 4 days ahead of time so I could kind of just fuss with it, and I even did a test print of it before the festival. So I felt pretty well prepared for the day of. I'm sure every artist approaches it differently. Because of my role at the community art studio, I often invite other artists to lead projects that then I help produce. So I sometimes feel like I'm a bit of a chameleon, and I just take on the style of whatever it is the project is that we're currently working on. So it was kind of neat to do a project without having those parameters, and I thought I want to design this myself. So I wanted to think of something that was sort of current and also sort of local, which I think is always a concern when I'm thinking about community-based art too, trying to make it unique to feature our location. So yeah, I chose for my subject Reading, so it's kind of a massive, encompassing panorama of the city, and then flying over the city is a huge monarch butterfly, which it represents both the environment but also immigration, because it's an insect that migrates back and forth.
I'm Suzanne Fellows. I'm a studio artist here at the GoggleWorks, and this is my woodcut. It's a 40-year history of Reading. Mostly on this side of the bridge, I've got the bridge and the speckled hen,
do you think it goes on
and the peanut bar, and places where I've lived and worked. Mike's Tavern is on there. The carving experience was like really hard because I had a child that got married a week ago, and I didn't get to carving until this week. So it's a hard push, and I had some friends help me, luckily.
Hey there, I'm Joey Strain. I am a local artist to the area here in Reading at the first annual GoggleWorks Print Fest, and this is my woodblock for today's event. Basically, I would describe my style as sort of like just whimsical, fun, kind of my ultimate goal for the stuff that I want to make is really just to like put a smile on somebody's face. It's like if I'm smiling when I'm making it and when I finish it, I hope that people are having the exact same reaction. Basically, it's like if I'm smiling, then and the audience is smiling, I'm happy. So it's really just about creating work that is kind of like sort of based in reality and the earth around us with nature and plants and sort of animals occasionally, but then kind of taking that to almost a more kind of whimsical, fantastical approach, more of like a kind of adding a little bit of oddness to it, a little bit of weirdness to it. But yeah, my work is kind of all about kind of like monsters and creatures and just putting them in our natural setting and seeing them interact with our world and the world that I come up with my head basically. But that's me, and we're going to be printing some worms, flowers, and a lot more today. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I started by carving this small test print, and because it was so sort of miniature, it felt very restricted by the size. And so then when I started working on the bigger plate, I basically began by just reproducing this image by drawing it onto the surface, and then I worked into it with more detail. So the city within the larger image is much more complex. And then as I began carving, I began talking to some other artists who were also participating in the festival. And it's like Lauren and Joey, and both of them were really helpful as far as, and Anna, who's one of the artists in the print studio here at GoggleWorks. And I think all of them were really good sources of advice with printmaking, like the amount of material you remove and how low it goes. By having some high parts, that's called chatter, where the plate, the paper, the printing medium, picks up the ink that sort of rests on those high spots, which I think is really beautiful. And they were kind of, good source of advice for how much to leave, and just the different, tools that I was using, whether it would have like a finer carving texture to it, or like a wider tool that would leave more of a softer look.
So my name is Zaunji, and I'm a teacher here at GoggleWorks, and today I am helping to run this styrofoam printmaking stand here, and also the cyanotype printmaking stand over there. And basically what we're doing is, actually you can see Erica is currently making a styrofoam printing plate. So this is a form of relief printing, and it's different from other forms of printmaking like can't think of the word, engraving. So in engraving printmaking, the ink will actually go down into grooves which are cut into the printing plate. With relief printmaking, it's the opposite. You'll ink a plate and the ink will stick everywhere that is raised rather than down inside the grooves. And then you
run ink over it using these foam brayers and these trays with the acrylic paint in them. Put a piece of paper down, smooth it, and so here's some examples of relief prints that we've made today. And then over here, these are examples of cyanotype prints, which are being made at the neighboring stand.
Hi, my name is Paula Mateo. I'm the Youth Programs Coordinator here at GoggleWorks, and today we have Print Fest. So we have several artists who have made 2x2 foot blocks of prints. We also have free activities for kids here. We have some print artists down in the alley, food, drinks, live music, and a whole bunch of other things. So over here we have fruit and vegetable printing. So we've taken potatoes, we've taken apples, and we've carved out shapes and patterns into them so kids can come, they can print, say printing with acrylic paint, contracting paper. Do you want to bring that in?
The one thing is the deadline. Yeah, I know some of the other artists were, carving right up until the last minute. So it does take a while to carve, but I think also I would suggest that everyone gets their printing surface a little earlier. And maybe even just having some community carving nights, that kind of led up. Like the event itself, I thought was well attended, and it was neat seeing all that excitement about the printmaking medium. But I think there could also be things that, sort of smaller events that might sort of build momentum that would lead even more people to participate.
Hi, my name's Sophia. My business is called Fia Prints, and I make prints out of vinyl cut, so rubber, such as like a little rubber stamp, and some ink, and I love making art here in Reading, and I don't know, I take local inspiration, so I have some prints that are related to the area, as well as just my surroundings, how I'm feeling, and I just love making art and sharing it with other people. My day job has an office in the GoggleWorks, and so that's how I got into this community. People can find me online. I have an Etsy shop, Fia Prints Shop, as well as an Instagram, Fia Prints Shop.
Hi, my name is Anna Schweigert. I'm a printmaker. I have some of my stuff on display over here. I do relief prints, collagraphs, screen printing, as well as mixed media work where I incorporate added elements like paper, thread, things like that into the prints that I make. I have been making prints for the past about 15 years. I've been working out of the printmaking studio here at the GoggleWorks since 2021. Well, I learned printmaking in college. I went to Kutztown and got my BFA there, and I had never done any printmaking before that, and I had to take an intro class, and I really just caught the bug. I fell in love, and I've been making prints ever since then. So I'm a member of Art Plus Gallery in West Reading, right on Penn Avenue there. I'm also on Instagram as Caster Grace Prints, and you can find me in those places as well as here.
Right, so my name is Orest Luzecki. My art is Monsters on a Picnic. It's kind of my own little company or my little brand I'm trying to spread, but they're all woodcut prints, all the artwork you can see here. And they're all carved from wood and then printed onto paper by hand. So it's a very labor-intensive process, and it's a very artful process too. And I like this medium because it allows me to replicate my artwork in an artful way and make it available to more people than typical art forms. Yeah, I took a college course my freshman year. I had an amazing teacher at the time, Professor Bonnie Leventhal, who's also an amazing artist, and she was very encouraging. She introduced me to woodcut printmaking, and I decided to just continue with the medium. Yeah, that's basically it. This is my first time here at GoggleWorks, actually. I know Joey Strain, one of the artists, and I also know Papanada Catering. I'm not sure if he's here, but one of the food vendors, and they encouraged me to come and participate in the event, and I was happy to do so. You can find me on Instagram at Monsters on a Picnic, and there you can find all my links. Basically just my Instagram, Monsters on a Picnic.
So we're having a great day here at the Print Fest at the GoggleWorks. My name is Brandon Everett. I'm the owner of Papanada Catering. Babanada is an innovative ghost kitchen. We operate as a business within a business, and so we have been going on 4 years in August. I want to share a little bit about our deliciousness. We started out in a Latin mix, selling Dominican food, something familiar, culturally familiar, like empanadas, like pinchos and kebabs. And so now we're actually taking our business and expanding more heights. We're going to be serving Mediterranean food, Grecian food, such as bifteki kebabs with Slovakia sauces and things like that. You should definitely check out our private chef dinners if you're interested in Brandon Babanada himself being able to cater for your events or your personalized dinner. We just want to honestly say, Reading is awesome, GoggleWorks is even more awesome, the Print Fest is great, and we love supporting artists and artistic talent. And so thank you so much, and we hope that you will come here and enjoy an empanada. Bye.
I've been renting in the printmaking studio for probably, I guess I took a screen printing class right before COVID hit. So because the class was canceled then, in the midst of it, and then after sort of the world reopened, I got an invitation to, repeat the class, or they opened up the class again, and then after that I took another class with Abby Ryder. She's one of the main screen printing teachers here at GoggleWorks, and is just incredibly talented and supportive. And then I just kind of really hit my stride with screen printing primarily, and became a renter, which means that I can sign up the key to the studio whenever I want when the GoggleWorks is open. And so that really, I was spending a lot of time in here sort of complementing the work that I was doing in the collaborative studio. And then when the program I was working for, Total Experience Learning, moved to Alvernia University last August, September, that was when I moved into Studio 221 here at the GoggleWorks. Yeah, I can't recommend, I'm always recommending GoggleWorks classes. I think they're great. The teachers are really qualified and talented, and I think the classes are affordable, and the GoggleWorks is accessible, and I find that the other people that I'm surrounded with in classes that I've taken, everyone kind of feeds off each other. I've been really fortunate to have really great chemistry in the classes that I've taken.
When I finished grad school, I was in a low residency program, so I'd been home alone for a couple of years making art, and I didn't have a job yet, and I thought, well, I want to go where the people are. So that was in 2009, and I'll never leave. I love it here. I'm involved with the printmaking studio, and I teach classes occasionally. I have a color theory class coming up starting on the 9th. I teach a lot of printmaking techniques, and I teach drawing and painting and other places, but yeah.
So I had been coming here as just like a fan since I was like 14 years old. But then coming here, occasionally doing like a student art show, and then once I graduated high school, I did a couple adult art shows here, but then eventually got the opportunity to get a job here. So I worked here full time for about 2 years as the graphic designer, and then recently left and moved on to other work, but I still come back here for vending and to help with any events I can. But I would say basically it's been like 10 years now that I've been here, either just as a fan or now participating and stuff. So it's been really cool to go from like aspiring kind of teen artist to like semi-professional artist who's doing stuff here. It is easier than ever to get involved with GoggleWorks, whether it's like volunteering at an event like this, whether it's taking a class. There's just like very cheap, very easy, just like one-day classes that people can take. You can sign up for classes, only a week ahead of time, or even at events like this, you can come here and show up and sign up for something and do it like on the fly right there. So it's as easy as going on the website and looking to see what events are coming up, what opportunities are on the way, or just come to an event and just like have no plan and then make a plan when you get there.
Oh, wonderful. I love it here. They're such a great resource for the community. So great for artists to have a place to come and work. All the events they do are great too.
No, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, GoggleWorks, for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So I started teaching here in 2019. I was in marketing for 2 years, and then I switched to programs, so now I oversee all of the children's programs at GoggleWorks. So we have pumpkin palooza coming up after this, and then after that we have handcrafted holiday. So hopefully I'll see you.
When I'm at GoggleWorks, typically you'll find me teaching, and I teach in a lot of different areas. So I'm doing drawing, painting, animation, digital drawing, warm glass, hand-built ceramics, a lot of different things. You can find on my Linktree where all of my workshops are listed. So just look up Linktree Zoungy Art. That's my name with the word art. So ZOUNGYART on Linktree. I also write on Substack. I have an art newsletter there that you can subscribe to for free to learn. And I also teach down at Historic Yellow Springs in Chester County.
Right now, as far as projects we're working on in the studio, is we were commissioned to create a mural that celebrates the centennial of the Reading Hospital. So that's going to be an enormous project. The mural will probably be about 4,000 square feet, which square footage wise will probably be one of the largest that I've ever produced. So we're just beginning the work on that design now. The centennial actually happens in 2026. So it's nice because we have, months to create a design that really addresses the milestone, but really makes it beautiful and well thought out. And then we'll have a long window of time in order to involve hospital staff and then just community volunteers in the creation of the project. Yeah, if you want to if you're interested in being involved in the community art studio, I'm in Studio 221 at the GoggleWorks, and there's contact information right outside the studio that has all my email and everything, and you shoot me I guess you can also access me via Berks Community Murals on Instagram or the Community Art Studio through the Alvernia website. All those points would have my contact information. And just contact me and say, you'd be interested in coming in to volunteer, and I can send you our schedule. Basically, it's a sign-up genius that I send to individuals. And the studio that we have now is relatively small, so the community paint events that we have are, pretty intimate. I usually limit it to about 12 people. But once we're working in a project, right now we're kind of in a lull between projects, so there's really no volunteer dates happening at the moment. But I'm hoping by fall we'll have a few projects sort of designs approved so that we can begin having people, back in to paint.
So we have events all the time. Check our website, goggleworks.org/events. We have Soil and Stage coming up, which is our open mic night. Reading Roots Market, which we have once a month through the summer, which is our big market out here in the courtyard. We have our summer residence show, which is a big art opening that we'll have on August 1st. So check our website and just see all the cool things that are happening there.
Thank you guys for watching. For more information about the GoggleWorks, check out the links in the description below. And while you're down there, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram to keep up with any other events I may be visiting in the future. And of course, make sure to subscribe to keep up to date with any future videos. Until next time, this is Berks 1-on-1 signing off.